As students here at St. Mary's College, you often hear of the academic challenges your peers face throughout their collegiate career, especially those in nursing. If you haven't already attested to a nursing major struggle, I guarantee you will. So what exactly makes the struggle so real for nursing majors? Is it actually getting into the program? Is it learning how to take a blood pressure manually for the first time? And what is it about multiple choice exams that makes it so difficult to become a registered nurse? For an incoming freshman looking forward to becoming a nurse or a sophomore looking forward to being accepted into the nursing program, it may be easy for one to be discouraged pursuing a career that is personal, hands-on, and life-changing. We're going to see what it's like for a sophomore looking forward to getting into the nursing program, a junior's first day at clinical, and a senior's reflection on the nursing journey. Let's take a look.
I get to walk into work every day and may not know what was going to be expected, but then hopefully walking out, making someone else's day even just a little bit better. It's hard in the sense that we're learning all these different skills and all this new material, and then we can't really use it yet. It's still being used on mannequins and not real people, which you can only get, I feel like a lot of the experience will come when we physically are doing it out in the real world. We aren't officially nursing students. It's like you're working your butt off every day, and you still don't know though until, say, the end of the semester, if you're, after you petition and whatnot, if you're going to be in the major or not. I mean, my biggest fear is that, I won't get into it. It's something that has been worked on and had a lot of time and effort put into for years now. So, just scary. At least at the beginning of the semester, it was kind of a sense of am I the only one that's worried? Am I gonna make it? I just kind of felt a little isolated. I only had those thoughts. But actually, as of recently, I spoke to so many different girls, and everyone's yeah, I don't know, I'm working my butt off. I hope it works out. I hope it works out. And I'm starting to realize that, oh, you're not the only one that is kind of just, on the edge of is this gonna work or not? I think you definitely see how much more you want to be a nurse, definitely, because freshman year you did one core nursing class, but sophomore year you got a lot more into the material of nursing. Like I said, I just take it one day at a time, and just try to put, if I put everything I have 100% into it, that's all I can do.
Since I've started at St. Mary's, all I've heard is, oh, your grades are gonna drop, the nursing grades suck, the nursing tests are so hard. I did very well in those classes, and I was oh, if the rest of the program's like this, I can do it. And then junior year, it's oh my God, it's so different.
I'd say junior year is where I've learned the most. You can learn kind of the basics and kind of what you're gonna be doing sophomore year, which is good because you really want to know if you want to do it then. You don't want to do all this hard work and then get to it and wow, I really don't want to do it, because it's a very rigorous and dedicated program at St. Mary's. My grades did go down a little harder, but that's because it's such a hard program. But what I would say to sophomores and to freshmen is to really get to know your professors and ask them as many questions, because they are there to help.
Make study groups, studying, not just sitting in your room and doing the readings and going through your notes. That's not enough. You definitely need to meet with other people, talk through things out loud, write things on the board, use different colors for diagrams, and make concept maps. Don't be afraid to talk to your professors, because they are awesome, and a lot of them are really helpful. Take advantage of SNA and the tutors with SNA, because the girls who sign up for that have been through it too, and so they know what's worked and what hasn't worked. And
My first clinical last semester was very scary, which is common because you're like, oh my gosh, like it's not just a mannequin anymore, which you learn I could potentially like hurt this person or help them, so I really want to know my stuff to be able to help them, which is nerve-wracking. Being a certified nurse assistant in a nursing home, that also helped a ton in clinical. Like, I suggest to do it before you start clinical.
Not having had like patient contact experience like freshman or sophomore year and then junior year jumping right into it was a little intimidating, but every day is different, and so it's definitely always in the back of your mind, am I prepared for today? Am I prepared for this? My clinical groups have really worked together as a team, and it was really nice because obviously like you are on your own, but they're always there to help you, and the nursing staff at the hospitals we've worked at have been really helpful, and I feel like I've learned so much, and I've come so far from the end of sophomore year to the end of junior year. And like, you mature as a student, you mature as a person because you're out in the world and working not just with the concepts you learn in class, but like with real people, with like real problems and lives and families, and that definitely helps you grow up a lot and helps you take the things you're learning in class more seriously because you're realizing you're really applying this to real people. I feel like I've learned so much, and I've come so far from the end of sophomore year to the end of junior year.
This is when you start to do clinical, and this is when you really start to like see what you're going to do as a nurse and like change like the lives of the people you're working with, which I love.
Well, at home I worked for a hospital as a patient care assistant in the ICU, and I think that was before I even started clinicals. So going into that and seeing everything the nurses do, I was kind of shocked as far as patient care and stuff like that, but it's kind of traumatizing at first, you know, like being with patients, especially critical care patients, and seeing how vulnerable and unstable they really are. So that definitely made me question some things. But with nursing, I've also found there's so many different things you could go into, so that's a positive. And then once I did get into clinicals, I did have some of those same types of experiences as far as patient care, like seeing ups and downs, but I think that's what makes it fun. I mean, I think with nursing, there's always going to be good days and bad days. For example, like coming in and having like a huge workload and having to do a bunch of tasks that maybe you're not comfortable with, but I think it just takes time and practice and you know, the help of others too. And then as far as ups, I think definitely the most positive point of nursing is being able to care for other souls and like at the bedside at their most vulnerable state. I think that's the most meaningful thing in the world. So I think, I don't know, it'll be definitely worthwhile. If I could give a piece of advice to a junior, I would definitely say just to keep going. You're almost done, and I think even though it may have been stressful so far, will definitely be worthwhile in the end. And I think with nursing, being at St. Mary's, I think since the nursing program is pretty small, we really get to know each other so well, and it is like a sisterhood, and I think that means a lot. So one more year. After graduation, I'm going to be going back to Minnesota. That was where I had an internship this summer on a cardiology progressive care floor, and I really loved the patient population, and the people I worked with were amazing. So I think it will be another big change in my life coming from New York, but I think it will be good for sure. If I could ask a question to a registered nurse about their first year, I definitely want to ask them how they coped with coming on to registered nursing right off the bat. I know so many people have said the first year is definitely the hardest, so I think just how they managed getting through and if they had any tips. As a Catholic institution, I think St. Mary's has definitely prepared me well to take care of patients on the spiritual aspect. That's part of the reason why I want to become a nurse, just because I think it is so faith-based. You're really taking care of all of these people, and I think, you know, God is essential in doing that. So just having that aspect here, I think I can't imagine going through nursing without it.
As you see, nursing is not only a profession or a practice that provides care for the sick and infirm, but a calling worth the struggle. As women at a Catholic institution, we are blessed to learn and practice holistic care that not only focuses on the physiological needs for the patient laying in the bed, but their spiritual as well. If there is anything nursing school will teach you, it is that caring for another in need is the highest self-achievement one can find. Even though you may feel defeated by the challenges that come with acquiring nursing skills and practice in nursing school, your hard work will reflect in the care you provide as a teacher, counselor, researcher, patient advocate, and nurse.